Everyone recognized Robert Taylor and Clark Gable as MGM's shining icons, the duo who dominated the silver screen with unparalleled charisma. They navigated the same cinematic empire, basked in identical triumphs, and ultimately bore one another's coffins in solemn procession. Yet, a singular incident threatened to shatter their unbreakable bond eternally. It unfolded amid the turmoil of World War II, when Tinseltown luminaries were urged to don uniforms and defend the nation. What Taylor observed on that fateful occasion stripped away his admiration for the figure dubbed the monarch of movies. The tale remained shrouded in secrecy for generations, as its revelation could have obliterated Gable's illustrious persona. However, the concealed facts eventually surfaced, reshaping perceptions of a legend once deemed unassailable. Spangler Arlington Brew entered the world on August 5, 1911, in the quaint agrarian hamlet of Philly, Nebraska. His moniker posed an immediate hurdle from infancy. It stemmed from his patriarch, Spangler Andrew Brew, a tiller of soil who evolved into an osteopathic healer. Educators fumbled the articulation during his schooling, frequently resorting to Arlington or Arlie to sidestep the cumbersome full title. Its Teutonic resonance amplified hardships during the Great War era when xenophobic sentiments surged, prompting peers to mock him and fostering a sense of alienation. His matriarch selected the appellation to commemorate a remote kin, yet it merely compounded her offspring's youthful tribulations. Melodies ignited his initial fervor. At Beatrice High School, he honed his prowess as a cellist, absorbing tutelage in Lincoln from the esteemed Professor Herbert E. Gray. Gray discerned exceptional potential and propelled him toward symphonic aspirations. Taylor harbored ambitions of emulating his sire in the healing arts, matriculating at Doane College in Crete, Nebraska, with pre-med intentions. Across two summer interludes, he graced a melodic ensemble on KMJ Radio in Clay Center, pocketing modest stipends while refining his stagecraft. Gray seethed when Taylor dabbled in theatrical productions on campus, deeming it a diversion from orchestral grandeur. He shone as an athletic prodigy, too. At Beatrice High School, he shattered benchmarks in sprinting and leaping, emerging as a regional sensation in the waning 1920s. His exploits graced periodicals not solely in Beatrice, but in Lincoln and Omaha as well. Versatility defined him, excelling across multiple disciplines, showcasing innate agility and unyielding resolve. Academic institutions extended athletic endowments his way. The regimen of dawn practices, disciplined nourishment, and fierce rivalry ingrained habits that endured, rendering him ideal for the daring personas he later embodied. A pivotal metamorphosis occurred when Professor Gray relocated to the Golden State to instruct at Pomona College. Taylor trailed him in the dawn of the 1930s, a bold leap for one hailing from humble roots. In California, he aimed to pursue harmonics and therapeutics, viewing it as a fleeting sojourn prior to repatriation. Yet, Gray advocated immersion in collegiate offerings, encompassing the dramatic society. His captivating visage and innate theatrical flair proved irresistible. Swiftly, he graced stages, despite Gray's apprehensions of melodic derailment. In 1932, portraying Captain Stanhope in Pomona's rendition of Journey's End, Taylor ensnared an MGM scout's gaze. The emissary proffered a pact commencing at $35 weekly. A humble inception, it burgeoned into one of cinema's most triumphant odysseys. Upon MGM's stewardship of his persona, they promptly expunged his natal designation. Spangler Arlington Brew vanished, supplanted by Robert Taylor. Louis B. Mayer and Ida Coverman decreed its sans consultation, asserting its robustness, patriotic essence, and box office allure. For Taylor, it initiated an erosion of identity. He pondered if any vestige of the Nebraskan lad persisted. His aesthetics propelled him to stardom, yet invited woes. Symmetrical contours, azure orbs, and sculpted physique rendered him exquisitely alluring. Masculine spectators scorned him as overly effete, spawning whispers about his intimate affairs. MGM paired him with seasoned matriarchs like Greta Garbo and Barbara Stanwyck, intensifying speculation. Taylor chafed at the archetype, sensing entrapment. He yearned for acclaim rooted in thespian merit, not superficial charm. MGM orchestrated a persona overhaul, thrusting him into grittier portrayals such as Billy the Kid and The Crowd Roars. Cosmetic artisans ruggedized his traits. Promotional imagery depicted him in raw scenarios, bare-chested, perspiring, frequently aquatic. They schooled him in altered gait, diction, and demeanor. The objective: forge a macho facade. Paradoxically, it amplified perceptions of artifice. By the twilight of the 1930s, his remuneration escalated to $5,000 weekly from the initial pittance, tethered by obligations. His quarter-century MGM covenant outspanned contemporaries. The conglomerate dictated every characterization, oscillating from amorous protagonist to swashbuckler to frontier gunslinger at whim. He acquiesced unfailingly. Observers noted his unwavering fealty rendered him predictable to scribes. He deferred not merely to executives, but to his consort, constricting autonomy. His ascension crested in 1930 SIX's Camille, co-starring Garbo. As Armand, the ardent suitor to her doomed Marguerite, he garnered accolades, surpassing anticipations in a profound narrative. The opus amassed $2,842,000, cementing his dramatic prowess. Garbo deemed him novice initially, yet admired his zeal. Camille endures as a pinnacle of romantic celluloid, affirming Taylor transcended mere aesthetics. When Barbara Stanwyck wed Robert Taylor on May 14, 1939, the Dream Factory buzzed incessantly. A mere triennial disparity fueled murmurs across ateliers. At 31, Stanwyck teetered on the precipice of obsolescence for ingenues. Taylor, 28, the rustic charmer ascended to MGM's paramour paragon. Stanwyck bore prior nuptials, sovereign ranch, and audacious repute via risque reels like Babyface. Taylor navigated stardom's labyrinth naively. Discourse transcended chronology, probing dominance. Jests abounded of cradle-snatching or maternal surrogacy. Her emoluments dwarfed his. Her stature inverted norms, rendering it prime fodder for soirees. The matrimony epitomized theatricality. MGM overlord Louis B. Mayer mandated the union, micromanaging proceedings. Superstition shunned the numeral 13, prompting post-midnight vows in San Diego. Authentic identities surfaced: Ruby Catherine Stevens and Spangler Arlington Brew. Marion Marks, spouse of Zeppo Marks and their initial liaison arranger, officiated as matron. Taylor's kin absented, substituted by studio-sanctioned groomsmen. Romance scarcely motivated, it quelled salacious conjectures regarding orientations. Mayer convened press in Beverly Hills for proclamation. The orchestration amused Conoscenti. 7 annums pre-Taylor, Stanwyck embraced Anthony Dion Fay on February 5, 1932, aspiring to salvage her fraying bond with Frank Fay. Dissolution ensued. She retained guardianship sans affection. Her forsaken youth scarred her maternal instincts. Taylor's integration found Tony at 7, confronting an indifferent steppater, an aloof mater who concealed his likeness in wardrobes, eschewing discourse. Estrangement ossified. On her demise threshold, she spurned reunion. Her sibling advised obliteration of maternal memory. Her testament bequeathed naught. Tony perished in 2006, yearning unrequited kinship. Taylor's indiscretions spawned tempests. In 1941's Johnny Eager, he entangled with Lana Turner, confiding obsessions to confidants. Stanwyck's discovery precipitated alleged self-harm endeavor. Yet, serial infidelities persisted. In 1950's Quo Vadis Roman sojourn, he courted Lea di Leo overtly, Exiting bordellos photographed. Stanwyck's mortification peaked. Seeming deliberate provocation, she journeyed for confrontation. For 6 weeks, they feigned bliss publicly whilst dissecting dissolution privately. Her divorce overture elicited instant accord, unveiling his maneuvers as liberation stratagem. In February 1943, Taylor astounded by enlisting at 32, exempt from conscription via age, matrimony, and domestic utility. Atelier's favored bond peddling and flag-waving flicks. Yet, under birth nomenclature, he joined U.S. Naval Air Corps post-song of Russia completion in August. Navy embraced, deeming him combat unfit by years. As lieutenant junior grade, he mentored aviators domestically. Disappointment stung, frontline valor eluded. Nonetheless, he excelled, earning wings January 11, 1944, ranking 5th in pedagogy. His legacy, 17 instructional cinematics from 1943 to 1945, didactic masterpieces spanning aeronautics to skirmish tactics. Flight command infused levity. His oration in 1944's The Fighting Lady earned New York Times plaudits. Remarkably, pre-enlistment aviation naivety yielded mastery via New Orleans rigor. At Livermore's Naval Air Station, he demystified intricacies lucidly. In February 1951, Stanwyck petitioned divorce, fracturing a perceived indissoluble alliance after dozen years. A gambit backfired. Amid Roman dalliance with D. Leo, her ultimatum prompted eager assent. Fiscal repercussions burdened. 15% perpetual gross levy sans remarriage or demise. She abstained, extracting fully. Sole custody of Tony severed Taylor's ties. Concurrently, westward the women revolutionized his trajectory. William A. Wellman's $2.2 million odor chronicled wagon master shepherding 150 brides westward. Grossing nigh $4 million globally, it validated versatility beyond romance. His resolute persona resonated. Decades hence, Iberian Hamlet emulated, yielding 33 unions. That annum, Roman reprise in Quo Vadis, MGM's priciest extravaganza with 32,000 garbs, featured nascent Sophia Loren. As Marcus Vinicius to Deborah Kerr, it harvested $11.43 million domestically, $9.94 million abroad, salvaging MGM's coffers. 1951's apex earner, it elevated Taylor's stature. MGM liaison entwined complexity. Contracted since 1933, he lingered as Golden Epic's final tethered luminary into late 1950s. Mayer exploited devotion, capping compensation below peers. Mid-1950s pivoted to beloved westerns. 1958 Liberation birthed Robert Taylor Productions. The Detectives aired 1959 to 1962. MGM beckoned for 1963's Cattle King. Paths intertwined with juvenile Elizabeth Taylor in 1949's Conspirator. At 16, generational chasm evoked paternity. He nurtured, aiding scholarship, extolling aptitude. 1952's Ivanhoe reunion, her disfavored, amassed $11 million rentals. In 1952, MGM orchestrated rendezvous with Teutonic thespian Ursula Thies at Coconut Grove. She reminisced euphoric waltz. Taylor, divorce-scarred, dallied diversely, including ex-ultimatum precipitated May 23, 1954 nautical Wyoming nuptials. With Ursula arrived war-scarred progeny Manuela and Michael from prior union. Hollywood acclamation challenged under Taylor's stringent ethos. Michael's woes culminated in 1964's paternal toxin attempt at 18, yielding reformatory annum. Duo offspring ensued. Terrence 1955, Tessa 1959. San Fernando Valley Ranch fostered tenderness. Companions lauded affection. Tessa recalled paternal whimsy contra screen stoicism. In 1959, Taylor defied norms by embracing small screen, astonishing contemporaries. The Detectives vindicated, 30-minute ABC crime saga, 2 seasons, then NBC hour-long Robert Taylor's Detectives. 97 installments cast him as Captain Matt Holbrook, a lead enforcer. Featured pre-Batman Adam West, Gene Roddenberry scribes. For Cinematic Titan, it heralded industrial evolution. By 1966, Reagan vacated Death Valley days for gubernatorial bid. Taylor assumed host/actor mantle. Succeeding future commander-in-chief infused politico-glamour. Decades-spanning camaraderie peaked with Reagan's eulogy. Taylor's 1958 MGM severance severed 24-year unprecedented tenure. From 23-year-old $35 weekly novice in 1934 to $5,000 weekly by 1940, collaborating Garbo, Gable, Tracy, Taylor. Over 80 features preceded exit, dismantling lifelong studio vassalage. Post-liberation output consistent yet uneven. He rued certain selections, sans studio scaffolding. Party Girl, 1958 finale, shown sporadically. Television beckoned profoundly. Lifelong vice exacted retribution. Juvenile-initiated 3-pack diurnal nicotine, exceeding 60 daily free-ins. Spring 1968, 57, fatigue and dyspnea assailed, dismissed as senescence or exertion. Escalation prompted diagnosis, pulmonary malignancy, indubitably tobacco-induced. Public initially informed valley fever. Taylor candidly affirmed, "Oh, sure. It's cancer. All right, lung cancer." Cobalt therapy preceded October 8, 1968 right lung excision. Astonishingly, he persisted puffing pre-surgery. Incredibly, labor endured. Death Valley days amid Reagan's Politico shift. Inter-hospital, he filmed resiliently. May 1969 compounded sorrow. Stepson Michael Thies, 23, overdosed fatally in L.A. abode, fortnight pre-Taylor's demise. Ursula's progeny, Taylor paternalized. Dual bereavement ravaged. Interred adjacently. June 8, 1969, 10:30 a.m. Taylor expired at St. John's, Santa Monica, 57, Ursula bedside. From MGM Zenith equating $50,000 plus weekly, 113-acre equestrian estate, 35-year span over 70 films, duo TV triumphs. Demise extinguished Golden Age beacon. Ronald Reagan, Church of the Recessional, June 11, 1969, voice faltering, eulogized. Future POTUS hailed beyond aesthetics, craftsman of dignity. Audio archived Reagan Library, fusing Cali politics Hollywood. Conservative fraternity forged bond into Reagan's ascent.